Good morning, I'm David Weegenaar. This is the 31st of May 2017, Wednesday. Here is Doubtful Sounds with Mist in the Morning from my Aotearoa New Zealand book. So that's Doubtful Sound. It's pretty cool, eh? Okay, right, that's the image for the day, and it might be repeated one day depending on how long I do this for. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to do it for a long time because I might as well. It's making my chest better. Okay, so here we go. So the time is gone on my PC, 10:07 AM or 10:08 AM. This game was played in St. Petersburg, 1895 to 96. So we've already done one from that era, from that same time. And this is one of Pillsbury's memorable games, okay? Quadrangle Tourney, it's called. I don't know what that meant. It's a Petrov defence, which is quite easy for black to learn, and it's quite sort of it's quite an easy opening for black to learn, and white can fall into traps and so can black. I've looked at this game, which is sorry Heather, but Dr. Emmanuel Lasker is white and Harry Pillsbury is black. I think his name's Harry. So we start off with the Petrov defence, which is knight f3, and black responds with mirroring white's move knight f3 with knight f6. This is the standard opening. So white gets to win this pawn, and it's no good for black to play this because of this. Black can play it, but it's not exactly advisable. Now if the knight moves now away, as if here, then d3, and then the knight moves. If here, then black can get compensation for their pawn, but that sort of thing can happen. I'm not even sure what the analysis is too much now. So anyway, we've got, if the knight moves back here now, new variation, then black has to meet this move, which is knight check, and hereby the queen on d8, whether it moves to e7 or stays there, and the bishop moves here, is lost. And the knight can't take here, of course, or the pawn can't take here, or so this is a well-known book trap in the Petrov that black needs to be aware of if they're playing it, is to not take this pawn straight away. But you can, because I'm saying there are lines that go like this, and d6, queen e4, de5, but that's another kettle of fish that we're not looking at that at the moment. We're looking at now black plays d6. Okay, new mainline computer, you should know that. Your computer, you should know these things. d6. knight f3, the usual move. There is also this move here. I've played this move for white, knight c4, it's quite fun. But knight f3, knight takes e4. Now if the queen now attacks this, black is not advised to play this move, as this wins the knight on e4, okay, for pawn also. So that's not advisable for black to play d6. If queen e2, then queen e7 is the reply. So if d3 now, then knight can go here or here. Can't go here because there's two pieces attacking it, and the queen is not really defending it, it's just a pseudo defense, because the queen is pinned to covering up her king on e8, or its king on e8. So that's what you need to watch out for. So just back here, and if bishop here, then knight here is fine, in my opinion. I'm not saying I'm correct what I'm saying. And if black is met with queen e7, this aids black's development. So we'll go back to the main line, okay, and then that's it, I think. d6, knight e4. d4. You should know, computer, it's the main line. You should know this. And now black plays this. Now this looks a bit odd because they're playing two moves in a row. Two pawn moves. They're playing this pawn move twice. It's looking like Pillsbury, but this is quite classical in this opening for black to play this, to fasten their knight on e4. Here comes the reply, bishop d3, bishop e7. So both are continually developing. Now, is white being offered a pawn? Can white just take this? We take this, I suppose, and here if the queen takes, then knight takes here looks okay to me. Of course, white has this, has that, but that doesn't look very good, and probably white would be met with castling and bishop here. So this might be a line for white to play. This might be okay. Can go here. It's not exactly entirely great. It's probably alright though. I'm talking double Dutch, aren't I? So knight here, and then I would probably I'd probably play f5, but I don't think it's very good. Huh. So I'm not entirely sure, but this knight can hop back here if it needs to and come into c5. But that's just a sub-variation of the actual game that we're looking at. Of what happens if they take the pawn, the knight on e4 and recapture back then. It's probably okay, but it's probably not ideal, because you do end up for white with these pawns here. After all that, pawns here, so they're pretty horrible for your king, and be open to rooks. attacking down here on the G file for black, which so anyway, bishop, where are we now? Bishop G4, C3. Okay, we've done something. What do we do? Okay. You should know, computer, this is the main line. So C3 is probably threatening that now, because this pawn bastion on D4 has been strengthened by the C3 pawn, so that white would be threatening this now. Bishop takes E4, DE4, rook takes pawn, and then the a pawn up, clearly. So that's the threat for white, for black to meet, that white's presenting black. So we've got the F5 move, Queen B3. Now that looks pretty awesome, because it's threatening, amongst other things, this, and it's also threatening, if the castle, that white can just take this. But black has got things up their sleeve. Now here, this is possible, but it's not very good, okay? Now white cannot play this, because the pawn takes rook, because the pin's relieved on D5 to the king on G8. We're not doing that, computer. You should know that, you're a computer. So we've got this move. So roughly, this is just looking over this, but that's not what was played. So it's not even good for white to play that. Bishop F4. You should know, computer, it's the main line. We've got bishop takes knight. Bishop takes F3, Gf3, knight G5, taking the pawn. If this, then white would probably be met with, this would be the first thing that white would be met with. A total disregard for what's going on here on black's queen side. This would be the move for black. And if bishop c7, that would aid black by being able to play queen d7, defending their knight, and at the same time this bishop is attacked on d3, so white would probably need to take this. And then we've got this I've just seen, but then we've also got this I've seen for black, for white. So let's get into some tactics here. And probably here, here, here. Because we're going to lose for black that d5 pawn. We're just going to have to give up on the whole idea of having it. I'm going to take that first with check, king over here, blah blah blah. Okay, so that's just some feeble analysis there. Just counter measures. One, it's like a ping pong match. After this move, by the way, black has got, black's even got this, but it's just getting a bit crazy. It's getting a wee bit crazy, just here. White can take here. Now not here first and then bishop takes queen, because of queen takes. So you can make these mistakes in chess. I mean, I don't want you to, but you can make them. That's a check. So, and then there's no way for white, for black to defend that pawn. So what have we got here? We've got an exchange up for white, for black. We've got an exchange up for black. And white has an extra pawn course. 5 versus 4 pawns. So we're going back to the main game, and you should know computer, it's the main line, your computer. Now if taking here now, that's alright for black. Because they just go here. They could go here now, but they can go here, but they just go here. And if bishop here, that's a wee bit of a problem. I'll probably just take that. And then take this. And can't take here. So the rook moves here or something. If king takes, that's retrap, check, and queen takes, but white gets some. But I'm not actually very sure without looking at it. I'm not actually sure. I was actually wanting to play this, and you might not believe me, but that's what I was wanting to play here, and it's probably better. So that was the first thought of my, that was the first thought that came in my head, was rook b6, because it's like the French defence McCutcheon variation. In the French defence, the McCutcheon rook, but it's the rook to g6 in the other position for black. So it's probably a good move to play here. We'll just cancel that. Okay. Queen c2, new main line. You should know that, computer. A wee trick. This just threatens just knight e6 to f4 check, and then so the bishop can't take this, because it's just a blunder, because of knight f4 check, queen f5. The bishop on e7 is defended by the knight to the rook attacking it, and now if white moves their queen, then it's going to be curtains with queen g5 checkmate. So that's no good for white. Now comes this idea for white, for black, 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 black. So this is the idea. or there'll be other ones, no doubt. Even here is an idea, and here h4. But it's not even great. Just rook here, and black is threatening rook g5, check, etc. if it was black's move. So we got knight e6, bishop c1. You should know, computer, it's the main line. Bishop d6. Now, this is actually kind of possible. Or it isn't. We'll just have a look. It's not possible, David, because of this. Rook f5. Then what happens? Queen f5. Knight f4 check. Oops, all of a sudden the queen discovers she's not protected. So the best for white here is queen f4, bishop f4, bishop f4, moves like rook f8 come to spring to mind. The bishop can move here, or can move here, or here, but it's stopping the knight from moving out. So it's no good for white. Although white has got a piece and a rook for a queen, which can be okay, this, if here, is an issue. This move here is an issue, although white can continue with this. But black is better here. He even can swing this knight here and here, here and here, and nibbling at this pawn. A wee scheme of mine just coming to hand. So anyway, bishop d6, knight d2, fair enough. New mainline computer, you should know that. Knight d2, queen's rook to king 1, or rook a e8. Knight f1, knight king 3, or knight e6, takes d4. Now we're threatening, just rook takes rook. Okay, and also threatening knight takes queen. Now, if this, black can take with the king or the bishop, probably the king, it's alright, bishop. Now, if we look at the material count, black is ahead. By similar rook and piece versus the queen. The pawn situation is 7 versus these miserable looking pawns over here. There's 6 pawns, so white's in a material disadvantage here. You should know, computer, this is the main line. Queen d1, rook e1. So white's lost a pawn clearly here. And guess what? They don't stop there. They take this one. So the king takes. comes this devastating brilliancy move. As far as I'm concerned, this is brilliant to have seen this. Knight takes pawn, king takes f3, or knight f3, king f3, f4. Now this is threatening a number of things which all look quite meaty and good. Black would not be met by this because of this, and then they're going to have a field party with the king. This is the threat that is first coming up, possible. Say for instance we just do a dummy move, okay? Here, 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 and check. Okay, so they are the sorts of threats that white has to meet. Let's go back, Dave. So we've got f4. So white plays queen d1. Okay. Queen d1, knight e5 check. Now if here, I believe that this would suffice for black, because once the king can go here, if it goes here, sort of is going to make no difference. King here, white is met with queen h3, you see. Knight e3 to defend queen g2 checkmate. And then there's a myriad of replies for black to play. This is one, but that is met by this. And this is another. Note that black is threatening queen h2 checkmate. So there's a lot of things happening. It's very, very meaty for black's pieces. You should know computer, your computer should know that this is the main line. And note the poor development of white here. Rook still sleeping at home. The bishop still sleeping, hasn't come out. And now we have queen d1, king d1, what else? Nothing else. Knight takes d3, and still black is attacking this pawn now. So white has to defend it, and can't defend it with the bishop, and can push it, but white has to defend it now. f3, rook e8. The computer suggests this move here. I wouldn't. Why not? If here, then this check wins the bishop if it doesn't do something about it. So it does, it goes here, and then here. And now black just wins this piece. Okay, so we've got rook e8, pretty mean ideas in mind. And we've got B3. You should know, computer, this is the main line. We've got knight G4 check. King to Queen 2, or King D2, and then we've got knight E3. This now threatens this knight, you see. So black is constantly at white's case. Doesn't relent, doesn't give up, because they're still not developed until now. They're not even developed yet, because this rook isn't on an open file, as opposed to the one that black has on E8. So they still haven't come out of the opening, white hasn't, whereas black is clearly in the middle game, end game, and white's just still finishing their middle opening game. They haven't even come into the middle game yet. Or you could say, well, yeah, now they have. You could say that. Knight G2. This prevents the swap off here because of the red lines. Knight G2, and it might look like, or it might to me even, well, what does black do next? Now see, this is the hotel on E3 thing that I've been talking about. It's a hotel on E3. Bishop C5. Knight to Rook 2. Well, not exactly what I think's going to do much, but anyway, they go Bishop F2. C4. Oh, there's life for the bishop. See, just take it. Instead of defending it, take it. If you defend it, then white can take this and back here. Whereas this way, it's a little bit less time spent on it. It just takes it. New main line. You should know that, computer. Your computer. And now comes this move. And black resigned. The manner in which Pillsbury snapped up the knight with his bishop at the 11th move, which we can show you, and his rapid play afterwards showed clearly that he saw through the game to victory. Well, I'm not sure if I completely agree with that author of the book, but that is a tremendous game. So we'll have a look at move 11. And it's pretty kind of crazy here, but white should just go for clear development instead of what they play. That's the end of my session. I hope it's not too long, because but these have got a lot of food in them, these games. Okay, thank you.